Hey guys, Jason here with a word to the wise. So I did that video yesterday or the other day, and I said in the video by the end, I'm like, what's going on here in the third horseman? I don't know. He comes with the scales. What's in the scales? How are those items being weighed? What goes in? What does not? Does the money? Is this talking about famine? Is this talking about justice? Is this talking about faith? Is this talking about evil? Because I have to believe that, like Jesus says, those who are not with me are against me. So weighing out in the balances, I'm not sure if that has something to do with it. I will touch on a few things because I was trying to move on to. I wanted to look at the fourth horseman a little bit, but I was kind of rushed and I didn't have time. But after that, I sat down. I can hear some guy's phone call in his car, and it's loud, one of those over the speaker things. But I had a verse in mind, like weighed in the balances. Like, what verse was that? So I typed it in to Bible Hub, and a couple things came up. Firstly, Daniel. And if you remember the handwriting on the wall, Belteshazzar was having the party. They used the glasses and I guess the dishware, I think, out of the temple, and this brought the handwriting on the wall. So they looked for Daniel to say, what does this mean? Nobody can interpret this, but we know you can. So typing in scales and balances, I just wanted to see what I could see, and I'll jump right into Daniel first, I think. And of course, I love taking the bookmarks out. There it is. So luckily, though, this time I wrote down the verses so I can just go through them. So I'll remove my hat. So Daniel chapter 5, verse 24 through 28. Then from his presence the hand was sent, and this writing was inscribed. And this is the writing that was inscribed: Mene, Mene, Tekel, and Parsin. This is the interpretation of the matter. Mene, God has numbered your days of your kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. So, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Let's keep that in mind. Now, if we go to Proverbs chapter 16, verses 9 through 11. The heart of a man plans his ways, but the Lord establishes his steps. An oracle is on the lips of a king. His mouth does not sin in judgment. A just balance and scales are the Lord's. All the weights in the bag are his work. There again, talking about, looking at the heart of a man. Now if we go to Proverbs 20, verses 21 through 23. An inheritance gained hastily in the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. Unequal weights are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good. What is happening? The Lord talking about the scales, the weighing in the balance, the heart of man, found wanting. So it seems to be some sort of a, where will you be when the first rider comes, and what happens? The second rider comes and takes peace from the world, causing man to slay one another. Will you seek revenge, possibly, and do what the Lord has not commanded us to do? There are many commands, or many things that are said to do and to not do. Are any of us all perfect? No, but to seek revenge on somebody else to then not be working in love. Mainly, you can always tack that onto it. Have you worked in love? I said it today to somebody. You know what? I'll get upset. I'll walk away from somebody. I'll sit there and I have a, I have a thing where I just, I'll argue back and forth with somebody. Especially if I feel that I'm right or my point is not being heard, and after that, it's like, especially if you're driving around and you see somebody and you get upset, it's like, well, that's the worst thing, because you've gotten overly upset. The person has driven off, you've driven off, and now, there's no way to like go back to that person. I've never seen them before. I'll never see them again. I'm going to jump out of my car in traffic and go over there and knock on their window and be like, hey, remember me the other day? Sorry. It's like, it's odd situations these days for sure. So I'll leave it at that. I do have a whole list of things I would like to do on the fourth seal. Just talking about the beasts of the field. But I'll save that for another time. Keep these kind of shorter so that I'm not trying to spend so much time trying to edit so much stuff around. And that way I can always show you guys the word, right out of scripture. That's why I like taking pictures of the Bible verses versus me just writing them on there or just saying them and not really showing you guys. Oh, before I forget, The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction put out a video the other day. It's about an hour long, and the whole thing he's talking about people that are talking rapture versus what scripture says, or looking at resurrections. I'll try to put a link to that video in the description if I can remember in time when I load it up. But it's worth watching. He puts a lot of description and understanding, I think, into it. Just a word to the wise, guys. God bless.